Hey guys, welcome back to Sparkman Homestead. We are on week 8 of the 3 Rivers Pantry Challenge. I thought I would actually start this week a little bit different than how I normally start my other weeks. I thought I would actually start with showing you guys one of our breakfasts. I made some bread yesterday and I thought today I would make up a delicious breakfast sandwich with it. So I just have my oven preheated right now and we are going to get some bacon in there cooking up, and then once the bacon is done, then we are actually going to attempt to make a sheet pan egg. I've never done it. From what I'm understanding, you just pretty much scramble eggs, put it on a sheet pan and bake it, and it will turn out to be like this flat egg that will be really good to put on the sandwich. So we're gonna attempt to do that. I am also going to bring you guys back for tonight's dinner. Tonight we are going to be making an Instapot buttered beef. It is one of our favorite recipes. I'm choosing to do the Instapot method versus just doing it in the slow cooker because I just remembered to take the beef out last night, so it is frozen solid. So I have it on my counter right now defrosting. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it's somewhat defrosted by this afternoon so that we can get it going, because I think even in the Instapot it takes almost a couple hours to cook, but it's a delicious meal and you guys will see. So let's get started on that bacon. I'm gonna be a little cut off, sorry guys. Yesterday afternoon I remembered to take the bacon out because I knew I wanted to make this recipe this morning. So it is all defrosted. So I like to just cook my bacon on my Pampered Chef stoneware. I find it's easier and quicker to do it that way. Like I said, I have my oven preheated at 400 degrees. Get all this bacon just laid out on the cookie sheet and then get it put back in. This is a pretty fatty bacon. We actually we bought a pork belly and then we just cured it. This is some homemade bacon. It is super delicious, but it is really fatty. The bacon is almost done, so we are actually going to get started on our sheet pan egg. I just have a tiny little cookie sheet that has like a really tall edge on it so that the eggs will be able to sit in it. So I have 8 eggs and they're fairly large eggs. I'm hoping that that's going to be enough to fill it, but we'll check. So we're just going to crack them into this measuring cup. These measuring cups are really cool because they have a pour spout on them and it works perfect for this recipe. I can just make everything in here and pour it into here. That was our timer for our bacon, but I just checked on it and it's not ready yet. I'm just gonna give these eggs a quick little whisk. I'm gonna add some salt to them. A little bit of pepper, a little bit of granular onion, a little bit of granulated garlic, and just a touch of smoked paprika. I'm gonna add some milk. I'm gonna say like maybe half a cup to 3/4 cup. We're just gonna pour it into this pan here. Let's get the bacon out because I'm pretty sure it's done. So I already have the oven at 400 degrees from that bacon. So I think what we're gonna do is we'll just put the egg in at 400 and we'll just kind of keep checking it to see how it's doing. Very careful not to spill this. And we we just want the egg to not be jiggly anymore. So let's get these bacons onto a plate to get some of that grease drained off. So I've recently, well not recently, in the past couple months, I've stopped buying paper towel. So I just have a, like, I think they're called bar towels. I just use them as like to clean up messes and stuff. So this is a clean one. We're just gonna use this on here and we'll get our bacon off. This is my eggs right now. Oh, you guys are fogging up. Here, let me just fix that for you. There you go. Look at it. I'm gonna take it out and see how it is. It's like, I think it's actually done. Yeah, it's done. We're gonna leave the oven on 400 because we're gonna assemble our sandwich and then get it put into that oven. I think I'm gonna actually use this cookie sheet or baking sheet. I have a bowl here that I'm gonna drain this extra grease into. We don't have a grease jar, so. And I'm thinking that it's gonna be okay to have some of this grease on here. I don't think it'll be bad. So this is one of our ciabatta breads that we made yesterday. So I'm just gonna cut it in half this way. And I'll leave the video linked for you guys when we made them, but look at the inside of it. It is so delicious. So what I'm thinking I want to do for this, we're gonna set the top aside because we don't need it quite yet. I'm gonna take some of this sheet pan egg. I'm wondering if I probably should have greased the bottom of this pan. Just put it on like that. Plate of bacon that we have. Lay it on like this. I just need to clarify, this sandwich is not all for me. This is going to be a sandwich that I'm going to split with Steven and we'll probably have leftovers, so I'm not eating all of this myself. And I have some cheese here. This is either white cheddar cheese or mozzarella. I grated up a block of cheddar cheese and a block of mozzarella and put them in the exact same bag, like, because I have more than one of these style bags. So now I don't know which one is which. I tried to taste it and I couldn't taste the difference. So this is either cheddar cheese or mozzarella. Now we're gonna take our baking sheet that we had the bacon on, and we're just gonna move this over to here. And then I'm just gonna, maybe we'll butter the top of this also. And then we'll just put this in with it and we'll toast this top. We'll butter it first. And we'll just kind of put it beside the sandwich here. So we're just pretty much putting this in just to get that cheese melted on top. There it is. Okay, so I'm gonna get this off this platter here very carefully. Put that on it. It's really hot. There we go. So that is going to be a delicious breakfast to start week 8. I will see you guys back tonight when we get that butter beef already. I'm gonna get supper started a little bit early. Tonight we are making that Instant Pot butter beef. It is so delicious. It says here it takes approximately an hour and 10 minutes, and that includes prep time and cook time. So I just want to give it a little extra time, and it is fine if it just sits in the Instant Pot. It can keep warm in there. So we are going to get the beef browned up. I am using an eye of round. This recipe says that you can use a chuck roast or a arm roast. I just happened to pull the round roast out because it was on top and it was starting to get freezer burnt, so I needed to get it used. Now this does actually suggest that you brown it in your Instapot bowl. However, I'm not doing that, and the reason I'm not doing that is because every single time I brown something in that Instapot, I keep getting the burn error. So I like to just brown it up in my cast iron, and then once I brown it up, just kind of transfer it over to the Instapot. I understand I'm not getting all of those yummy juices that come out, that, you know, form when you brown it, but I'd rather do it this way than continuously get that burn error with my Instapot. So that's just what I'm doing. If you want to stick to the recipe, you could do it in your Instapot. I will also leave this recipe linked for you guys because, like I said, it is one of our favorite recipes, and I actually printed it out so I know where I got this recipe. I've been making this for years, so I hope that it's still on their blog. Anyways, let's get started and get this heated up. I'm just gonna add a little bit of avocado oil to this. I don't need very much because I'm just searing it. I did not put enough avocado oil in. Okay, we've got it seared on all ends. Just flipped it around a couple of times and made sure it was seared and just kind of sealed shut. Guys, I did not even realize that I did not tell you what day we're on. We're on day 50 of the pantry challenge. So today it is February the 19th. Sorry, I just keep looking over there because that's where I have my calendar written out with all the days for the pantry challenge. So we're on day 50. It's crazy that we have been doing this for 50 days. It's absolutely amazing. So today's meal is really good because I'm actually using some stuff from 2021, which is really good. This recipe calls for 1 pint-sized jar of pepper rings drained with a 1/4 cup of juice left. We usually just take a jar of pepperoncinis and dump it in, but because I also have to get my banana peppers used up, I'm gonna just put the banana peppers in there too, but I'm not gonna put the juices in because that would be too much liquid in here. So we're just gonna, again, like it says, we're just gonna reserve a cup from this pepperoncini one. So let's get this all dumped in. I'm just gonna drain the banana peppers because we're not using the juice from these. And then we're just gonna pick the pepperoncinis out. These were from my 2021 garden, so they are so needing to get used up. And then we're going to pour off a 1/4 cup from here. All right, next up, we have to add 2 tablespoons of ranch dressing seasoning mix. This is just one that I had made from scratch. It's really, really delicious. So I'm just gonna use 2 tablespoons. I might just use a little extra because it really does add a really good flavor. Okay, and then we need 2 tablespoons of zesty Italian seasoning mix. So again, it's just another one that I made from scratch. I really like making this one, this particular zesty one from scratch, because I find that when I use the packaged one, this dish is overly salty, like really, really salty. So because I can control the amount of salt that I actually put in this seasoning mix, it doesn't make this dish crazy salty. So I like that part of it. But if you are using a regular zesty Italian seasoning mix, just beware that it's probably gonna be a little extra salty. So that was 1 tablespoon we had in there, and this is 2. And then we need a stick of butter, and all it says to do is put the stick of butter on top of the roast. Oh, and we also, sorry, I forgot, we also need to add 1 cup of water, and I'm just using a filtered water here. Okay, we're gonna bring over the insert, turn the light on for you guys. And now, where's my lid? Found it. And I got my seal in. So we're just gonna put the lid on. We are going to put the valve into sealing mode. And then we are manually going to set it for 60 minutes of pressure. So now what pressure level does it say to go on? I have mine on high pressure. I'm assuming that that's what we need. We'll put it on normal though, but it's set on high pressure. Okay, so then we need 60 minutes. It says for larger roasts, it can take up to 90 minutes. I'm pretty sure that this roast is a 3-pound roast. That's what I had requested from the butcher when we ordered our cow. And this recipe does actually call for a 3-pound roast. So it says when cooking is complete, you can either naturally release or you can do a quick release. And then it says cut up beef with salad shears or break it apart with forks. And then it says it recommends serving it over pureed cauliflower or mashed potatoes. We are actually going to serve this over a mashed sweet potato. So I am actually going to get those cut up and just sitting in a pot because they're fine just to sit in a pot of water. And then that way when we need to make them, they're just all ready just to get heated up and then cooked right away. So let's get those potatoes started. We're just gonna get these cubed up into some pretty big sizes. This is sweet potato that I had actually purchased from the Amish. I believe I got it in October, and these things are still super good quality. May have even been September that I got them. I buy them in bulk from the Amish, and I'm definitely gonna be doing that next year again, like right before the end of the season. I'm just gonna pick up a couple boxes of sweet potatoes. They'll definitely last me all winter like these have. I mean, they've got a couple spots on them, but those spots were there when I bought it because these were actually considered second sweet potatoes because they had blemishes and stuff on them. So I got them actually at a discount, which is another way that I save money is by buying discounted fruits and vegetables, because I don't mind that they have a little blemish on them because I'm usually canning them up anyways. I am just getting my Dutch oven in the oven because I have a loaf of sourdough bread that was fermenting in my fridge that I actually made, I think, a day ago. I'm going to also cook that up for supper. I'm just gonna leave them sitting in this water on the stove, and then when we're ready, I'll just turn it on. Okay, it has been done for almost 2 hours now. It's been staying warm. So I checked it and it's really good. So what I'm gonna do is just take this out and put it onto a platter. And then we're just gonna shred it up. And then we're just gonna add it back to here once it's shredded up. Because you want all the inside stuff just to kind of be sitting with the liquid. It's kind of nice that I picked this particular roast because it doesn't have a lot of fat in it. pepperoncinis kind of go, because they were canned pepperoncinis and they were fairly old, they are kind of soft in here, but it's fine because they taste delicious. And then I think I'll put this, I'm actually going to turn this off and plug it. And I think when it comes time to serve, we'll just take this insert out and then we'll just get our stuff from out of here. I just turned the potatoes on, so those are starting to come to a boil. And then I got our sourdough bread out of the oven. So yeah, and then I am also going to make some green beans for myself. Stephen unfortunately doesn't like green beans, so he won't end up eating them, but that's fine. He'll like the pepperoncinis in there. That's a pepper, which is a vegetable. So let's just wait on these potatoes, and then I will come back and show you. Actually, I'm going to come back and show you how I make the mashed sweet potatoes. We have our sweet potatoes all strained. They're cooked. So I'm just going to add a pretty, that's maybe like 2.5 tablespoons of butter. We'll just add that to that just to kind of slowly melt. We're also going to add some salt and some pepper. And then I'm going to go and get a little bit of milk. Add just a little bit of milk here. Probably should be enough. Leave it out just in case. And now I just have my mixer and we're just gonna beat these up. I almost forgot to record this again. Here is my plate. So this is the butter beef over there. I just poured some of the sauce over top of it. I have my green beans and then the mashed sweet potatoes. And then I'm going to take a piece of bread and have it with butter. So that is supper for day 50. We are on day 51. And I don't know how many videos I have begun by saying this, but I was not going to film tonight. I spent most of the day in the greenhouse getting some stuff started, and then I came in and was editing some videos for you guys. So I am like really just not really feeling it tonight. I was gonna make a German meatball out of that Joy of Cooking cookbook, but it is kind of an elaborate meal. Well, it's not super elaborate, it's just there's a lot of steps and it takes a while. So we have decided, I talked to Stephen about it, and we've decided that we are going to make air fryer burgers, and then we are going to have some French fries on the side, or hash browns. Either French fries or hash browns, I haven't decided yet. I'm going to make some ranch dressing with some sour cream that we have to dip the fries in. And then because the burgers were kind of a last minute decision, I didn't make buns today. So we do have some bread that I made yesterday. So we're just gonna put the burgers on this. And then we will probably end up having some type of canned vegetable. I'm thinking maybe carrots. I don't know. We're running out of options as far as vegetables go. Just because naturally we're getting near the end of the season. So our choices are very limited right now with what we're having as sides. And I unfortunately did not get to the farmer's market on Sunday or on Saturday. So we don't have any lettuce or anything like that. So probably having carrots. Anyways, I will show you guys how I am making these burgers. We're just gonna throw them in the air fryer. I have shown you guys how to do the air fryer portion of making these burgers. And I've probably showed you how I make burgers before, but I just thought, again, accountability. I'm gonna throw the camera on and show you guys. So let's get started. I am actually gonna be making more in advance and just flash freezing them. So I have 2 pounds of ground beef in here, and I'm just gonna kind of break it up a bit. This is my least favorite part of making burgers, is doing this with the meat, but it works to get it all mixed together good. I'm just gonna wash my hands now. We're gonna put probably about a cup of breadcrumbs in here. These are just some sourdough breadcrumbs that I made, and I keep them in my freezer to keep them fresh, and they're a little frozen. Actually, you know what? I think we might need a touch bit more. And then we're gonna use 2 eggs. You can kind of get creative at this point. So I am going to put in some smoked paprika. Remember, this is 2 pounds of meat, so that's why these amounts are going in. I have some garlic powder here we're gonna put in. Some onion powder. Some black pepper. Some salt. And then I have some dried hot peppers. This is a mix of cayenne, jalapeno, and I think there might even be some Tabasco in here. So I just dried these up at the end of last season. So we're gonna put a little bit of these in just for some heat. Should be good because these were all like really hot. Ooh, ooh, I can definitely smell that heat. That's gonna be good. That's intense already. And now we're just gonna mix this all together. And then I just have my Tupperware hamburger maker. This thing is so awesome. It comes in 3 different parts and it just is a patty maker. I love it. It makes making hamburgers super quick and easy, and it makes them like relatively all the same shape. Just put the meat in like that and then squish it down. Take that off, and there you go. You have a perfect patty. So I'm probably only gonna make 4 tonight because that's usually what is good for us, and then it gives us enough to have leftovers the next day. So the rest I'm just going to flash freeze, and we can use them in the busy summer season, the garden season, when I really don't want to cook. I just pack burgers out and they're already pre-done for me. So out of 2 pounds of hamburger meat, we were able to get 9 burgers. That's a pretty good way to make that amount of meat stretch. So again, I'm gonna freeze 5 of these, and then we will air fry 4 of them for tonight's dinner. So as a side, we are going to make these. I just found them in my freezer and they are starting to kind of get a little freezer burnt, so I want to use them up and get them out of there. So I'm just going to lightly season these. Just gonna add, oh, this bottle comes out so quickly. That was avocado oil. Hopefully you guys can hear me because of that air fryer. Then I'm gonna put some salt on these. I'm gonna almost mimic the flavors that we did in the burgers. Some pepper, smoked paprika, garlic powder, and then onion powder. I'm not adding any additional heat to these. I'm just gonna leave them pretty plain. We do have hot sauce. If Steven wants to put hot sauce on it, then he can definitely do that, but I'm gonna leave the heat out of here. And now we just have to wait for the burgers to finish. That was a lie. We actually need to get the ranch dressing started. So I just have a little bit of mayonnaise in here. I'm just probably gonna add it all to this bowl. It's gonna be more of a dip than a dressing. So it's not gonna be super runny. So I would say that's maybe like a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise. And then we're gonna add about a 1/4 cup of just this Nancy's sour cream. I absolutely love this stuff. It is my favorite sour cream. Probably put about a 1/4 cup of that in there. Then we are going to add some ranch dressing, and I'm just gonna eyeball it. I'm using a teaspoon here. So that's about 4 teaspoons. I'm gonna stir this in, and then we'll do a little taste test and see if it's ranchy enough. I think I wanna add just another little tiny teaspoon. And there is our ranch dipping sauce. I'm gonna dip my tater tots in this. There is our supper. I totally forgot to get the vegetable out, so it is a no vegetable at night. For dessert, I might have some applesauce, so that will be my fruit, and that will be part of the vegetable and fruit category, so it'll be fine. I am going to put some ranch dressing on this, or ranch dip, and then a little bit of my homemade relish that I made last year. So that's our dinner. Hey guys, we are on day 53 of the pantry challenge. I have some dinner rolls here that have been rising for the last 30 minutes. I'm gonna get these put into the oven right now. I have the oven preheated at 400 degrees, and oh, you know what? I actually need to put egg wash on them. I just took one egg and just beat it up, and now I'm just gonna brush it on top of here. I will leave the recipe for these rolls. This recipe was inspired by Becky over at Azure Homestead. This is on her website, I believe. But like I said, I will leave you the link for you guys below. They're super quick. They take about an hour to make, and I did not get to make sourdough today, so I needed kind of something to have, because tonight we are having a potato soup. So I wanted to have something kind of to go with it. Thought these would be perfect. We will get these in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes, so we'll go 20 minutes. We need to get 4 tablespoons of butter melted in this pot, and then to that we are going to add 1/3 of flour, and we are just going to whisk it together until we have a paste. I unfortunately do not know where I got this recipe, so I will leave it printed out for you guys below. This is a really delicious soup. It was fairly warm today, but I had it on the menu and I was craving it, so I was like, I'll just leave it on, despite it being warm and the windows are open and everything, but it is a really good soup recipe. I'm gonna whisk the 1/3 of flour in here. I'm just waiting for it to get a nice nutty smell, just to kind of cook off that flour taste. And then once it's good and kind of going brown, we are gonna add 4 cups of chicken broth to this. Starting to smell nutty, so we're going to slowly whisk in this chicken broth. The recipe calls for 2 cups of milk and 2/3 cup of cream, heavy cream, but I don't have any heavy cream, so I'm just using 2 2/3 cup of just a whole milk. So I'm gonna whisk this in. And then we just drained 2 quarts of potatoes. The potatoes are cut like really big, so I am just going to cut these a little bit smaller before I add them to that pot. Okay, we'll get these potatoes added in. Oops. Try not to make such a splash. So the actual recipe calls for 2.5 pounds of potatoes. It says approximately 6 large ones. I knew that 1 quart of potatoes wasn't going to be enough, so that's why I added 2. Plus, I only added the whole milk, so hopefully the extra potatoes will add a little bit of extra creaminess to it. Now we have to add some granulated garlic, and it just says to taste, so we'll just sprinkle like that. And it also says granulated onions to taste. We'll do that. We need 1 teaspoon of pepper. And then it says salt to taste. Now, my potatoes and my chicken broth, none of those have salt in it. So I think we're gonna probably do maybe 2 teaspoons of salt, and then we'll give it a taste and see if it's seasoned enough. I don't want to over salt it. And then we need 1/2 teaspoon of smoked paprika, and then 1/8 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Now it says to bring this to a boil and cook until the potatoes are tender. We are using canned potatoes, so we get to kind of, again, advance a little bit because these are already pretty much cooked. So we're just gonna bring this to a boil, and then once it comes to a boil, we're gonna reduce the heat and we are going to immersion blend this. So it shouldn't take very long to come to a boil. I think altogether this meal, literally, if you are using like canned potatoes and you have everything kind of ready, you could probably make this meal easily in 10 minutes. So it is perfect alternative to, instead of having canned soup, this is super easy. Our oven timer just went off, so we need to get the buns out. Ooh, looking beautiful. There they are. One thing I like to do when buns first come out of the oven is I like to put a little bit of butter on the top of it. So I just have some butter here and I'm just gonna do this to the top. I have some bacon here that I pre-cooked, sorry. So this recipe calls for 6 slices of cooked bacon, finely chopped, like chopped into small pieces. These are really small pieces, like short pieces of bacon. So I'm probably gonna use more than 6. They're very wide, so we'll cut them in half. Probably gonna cut more than that. I am unsure of why I repeatedly do this. I pick my smallest cutting board to cut my bacon on. I pick my smallest bowls to beat my eggs in. It's like I like a challenge. See if we can keep it all on the cutting board without it spilling over. So I think that's a good amount of bacon. Okay, this is to a boil. So I am going to take it off the heat, and then we are going to immersion blend it off of the heat. It is very, very hot, so I am going to be very careful with this. Now it does say to leave a couple of bigger chunks of potatoes in here. Okay, that's good. We still have some big chunks of potatoes in here, but that's good. It does recommend that, and I do like that. Okay, we're gonna put it back on the heat now. The only reason I took it off the heat was for safety reasons, because I did not want to burn myself, because my stovetop gets very, very hot. So we just put it back on, and we are going to add the bacon. It says 6 strips of bacon cut into small pieces. And then it says 2/3 cups of sour cream. We're using my favorite Nancy's sour cream. This stuff is delicious. I pretty much have 2/3 in here. And then we'll just stir it in. And then it says allow it to simmer for 15 minutes. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I did do a taste test and it was perfectly salty. Those 2 teaspoons of salt was perfect for this. But again, just remember that my chicken broth was unsalted and my potatoes were also unsalted, so that may make a difference. But see how nice and thick it is now because we immersion blend it. So I think it's fine that we didn't use the heavy cream. Using what we got. Pantry challenge. I'm gonna turn this down a bit because I don't want it to burn on the bottom. So we're gonna let this simmer. And when I said that it came together in like 10 to 15 minutes, I forgot about the 15-minute simmer. So together this soup usually takes, well, it is taking about half an hour to make, but still that's a really good cooking time for a really delicious soup. So it's still, I think, it's an under 30-minute meal. And I will come back and show you once it is all plated up or bowled up in this situation. So yummy. So here is my soup, and I had actually made a mistake. It is not day 53. This was actually day 52. So I am in the middle of editing week 8's video because we are actually only on Thursday. So we are actually halfway through the week. And I realized that I am already at almost 40 minutes for that video. What I'm planning on doing is making week 8's video in 2 parts. So what you just watched is going to be part 1, and then part 2 will come up in a couple of days. So I will continue to be filming for the rest of the week, but it will be on a separate video. That way it's not going to be over an hour long because that's a long video. I mean, I like long videos, but that would be really long. So I am going to just end the video here. I hope you guys have enjoyed the first part of the week. Absolutely, both me and Steven enjoyed the meals that we made the first part of the week a lot. Steven has actually told me numerous times that potato soup recipe is his favorite. And not only that, but he now says that we need to make that ciabatta bread every week so that we can have that breakfast sandwich, because it was really, really good. So I hope you guys give those a try. And like I said, I hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, if you could give it a thumbs up and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. I hope you have a great day or night whenever you're watching this, and I will see you on the next video. Bye guys.